back to the Overflow Youth channel. I'm here with Jakin Williams, aka Jakers tonight, the new games coordinator. Welcome, Jakin.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
All right, I've just got some questions that I know the youth of the world are really interested in. First of all, obviously, soccer is one of your biggest passions. If you were to play for a famous soccer team, which one would it be?
It's got to be Arsenal in England.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, if there was a famous soccer team you were never going to play for, which would that be?
It's a tough call, but also it would have to be Chelsea.
Ooh,
yeah.
Take that, Rainier.
Yeah, sorry, Rainier.
All right, and following on with the theme of soccer, this is one from the fans. If you broke both of your legs and could never play soccer again, what would you do?
It's a tough one. Obviously, I'd never want that to happen. But I reckon. Thank you. I reckon I would become a soccer coach.
Oh, nice backup strategy. And then from the fans as well, would you still be a better soccer player than Kieran?
Do I need to answer that?
Yeah, let's just move on.
Of course.
Let's just move on. Alright. Now another question we've got. So obviously as the games coordinator, you've got a big role in deciding what we do with the games at youth.
Yeah.
How would you make games more fun for girls? Because typically girls feel isolated by our games. So is there any strategies we can use to make them feel more included?
I reckon a lot of the games we do sometimes are very physical games, and I think it would be nice to do some like more creative ones, like like bringing out the arts, like dancing and art and all that sort of thing. And and also get the female youth leaders involved as a bit of a role model out there in front of the youth.
Oh, very cool. Well thought out. Now moving on to some more personal stuff for you. Okay. What are your own personal goals and dreams?
Obviously, I'd love to get somewhere in soccer, become a professional soccer player. That'd be great. But also just being in church and just helping out, in church any way that God wants me to.
Oh, very nice. And now this one's a bit of a tough one. You got 10 seconds, but I'll give you 15.
Oh, thank you.
How would you describe your faith journey?
Well, I've always been in church since I was young. Like my grandpa and my mum have always been in the church, and then I've just always grown up in that. But it's recently just really stepped up, and I just really gotten strong in my faith in God.
Awesome.
It's been really awesome.
Yeah, really good. And then just a follow-on. Describe a powerful encounter that you've had with God.
It would have been when I was probably around 14 or so, and I was just lying in bed one night, and the stress of like schoolwork and all that was getting to me, and soccer and all that, and it does, and and so I just started praying to God, and then I just started speaking in tongues, and it was just an awesome encounter I had.
That's very, very cool. Isn't that cool? Now, continue on with our serious questions. At youth group, which leader would you say is the most fashionable?
Well, it might sound a bit cocky if I said myself, so I wouldn't say that one. But I was thinking of saying Rainier, but I just don't want his ego to get too big.
Good call.
So I might just pass
on that one. Good idea. Yes. All right. The next thing is actually a secret code. We've heard that on Friday night you're actually going to join the team that can remember this code. So is there a code that you would prefer to use that the youth would shout out and that would get them for you to play on their team? Which is a big advantage, obviously. He's a top player.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. But it would be soccer rules with a Z.
Oh, I can't forget that Z.
Can't forget that Z.
Moving on, besides Ryan, who would be the best long distance runner out of the youth leagues?
I reckon it would probably be old Kieran over here. He's always out there training hard, so it's got to be Kieran.
I've heard he's quite motivated.
He's very motivated. He's a great youth leader.
Oh, thank you. All right, next question. This is a bit of a gossipy one. So, who is the coolest backup singer, and when is he singing next?
Well, I reckon it would have to be the new addition this term to the worship team. Very talented young man.
I've heard he's very talented.
Have you? Yeah. Well, he's sort of come out of nowhere. Everyone didn't even know he had this talent. But it's got to be Jakin Williams.
Yeah.
And he's starting this Friday night. This Friday night. So it's gonna be. You got to be there.
Debut. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, and now we're just going to finish up with some quite sensible questions. I think they're
okay.
quite logical.
Mm.
So if there were to be a fight to the death between some of the youth leaders,
Okay.
who would win? Tim versus Rainier. One
See.
comes in, two come in, sorry, and one leaves.
Okay. Obviously, just starting out there, you don't want to see any of the youth leaders being killed. But if there was one, I think it would be it'd be a tough one. But I reckon it would probably be Rainier. Just because he's just always there, just thinking.
And as a doctor, he probably knows a bit about life.
Medical and stuff like that. If he
Alright, moving on. What about if that battle were to involve Julian and Leisha?
Sorry, Julian, but it would have to be Leisha. She's a country girl, so she knows a bit of land and all that. So sorry, Julian.
Now this will be a tight one, I think. Lizzie and Amaya.
See, I just think they would both refuse to fight each other in the first place, because they're just too kind to each other.
They are. It's true.
But if they were forced to,
absolutely forced.
they're forced to. No options. All right. I reckon it would probably be Lizzie. I reckon Lizzie would, win that one.
Yeah, Amaya is a bit too sweet.
It's not that Lizzie isn't sweet, but
that's true as well.
Sorry.
And now the last one, the finale. Kieran versus Danny.
It's a tough one there because they're being married and all that. But
Complicates it.
I reckon Danny would just sort of sweet talk Kieran, and Kieran would just give in, and so I reckon you'd lose that one, buddy. So
Alright, we shouldn't end on that. We should have a final question.
Alright.
So let's finish with, what are you most looking forward to this Friday night? I mean, you've obviously already told us leading the soccer game, big news.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Debut, backup singer. What are you most looking forward to though?
Every part of youth is always enjoyable, like the worship in the game and everything. But one of the most parts that I look forward to at youth would be Ryan Davis preaching, and that's he does. It's awesome time, and we should see you all there. It'll be awesome Friday night.
On that note, thank you, Jakin,
That's
for coming in today.
It's
really
been
enjoyed
good.
this interview.
It's been
and
awesome.
We'll see you all on Friday night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.